time. So I've seen them, like, they don't really know, like, right from wrong. They're a little bit, like, slower, and their speech isn't that great.
Yes, I do. I have a friend that I met a long time ago in elementary school named Sarah, and she has Down syndrome. She faces a lot of things, probably a lot of like cognitive ability and physical ability. So she has a lot of issues, say getting around and functioning and trying to be within like a normal society.
Yeah, one of my best friends back home, his little brother had Asperger's, and he's a great kid. I love him to death. But a lot of times at school, he wouldn't necessarily get the best like attention and like special teaching that he needed, just because it was more of a like they were trying to more like contain him and just like keep him from acting up rather than like trying to teach him the way he wanted to be taught and things. So that was really a struggle for him. But I mean, he was an amazing kid. So.
Hundreds of thousands of kids are in the process of pursuing something bigger than themselves. But what about the kids in the special needs classrooms? The forgotten ones who are overlooked and undermined because of a genetic predisposition that they have no control over. What about them? Why do we enable some kids and disregard others? Who are we to decide who has potential and who doesn't? After all, it only takes one person to change the world. But that one person could be locked away in a classroom without proper resources, educators, or technology to teach them. That one could just be waiting for a hand to help him up and a voice to push him forward. We went to University of Kentucky and Georgetown College graduate to find out more about what's going on in special education classrooms. How long has special education been a concern?
The idea of special education didn't even start until the 70s, and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which is the most recent laws pertaining to special ed students, didn't come about until 1997. So this whole field is relatively new. We're still learning a lot about technology and resources and what it takes to provide the education that these children need.
What areas of special education do you feel could be improved?
Right now, a big thing in special ed is mainstreaming students into the general ed classroom. So you may have a child who has a specific learning disability, such as reading, they have a really hard time with reading, or an autistic child, but we place them in the general ed classroom so that they can learn a lot of those social skills and can just feel more included and help challenge them within the general ed classroom. But the problem with that is that a lot of general ed teachers these days are not trained. They don't have the adequate education to provide education to these special ed students. And almost every teacher I've talked to that has a classroom that is mainstreamed, they said that they feel just like they can't provide the type of education that the students need.
What obstacles do you personally face in your career and throughout your education?
Right now, I think my biggest obstacle is feeling like I have to do it all. And right now, most of my students are have attention disorders, but also emotional behavior disorders. And so there have been several occurrences where they have just emotional outbursts, tantrums, hitting, kicking, screaming, hurting people around them, trying to hurt me. And it's a lot of pressure to feel like I have to know how to deal with those behaviors. And in a sense, I do, but my main job is to teach them. Behavior therapists and occupational therapists, that's their job, is to work with them therapy-wise to help them improve on those behaviors. It's my job just to teach them, but it is a burden to feel like you're not doing a good enough job.
Can you recall a time where you felt like you were not cut out for your job?
Multiple times throughout being a special education teacher, I felt that way. Because as you go through the education to become a special education teacher. You learn how to write lesson plans, you learn how to make activities and accommodate and modify different lesson plans for the students. You learn about diseases and about disabilities, but you don't learn how to deal with them. For example, I had a student with an emotional behavior disorder through 3 laptops and across the room, putting other people in danger as well as himself and as well as me. And so it was just a really, really scary and also kind of hopeless situation, because you don't know what to do to stop the behaviors, you don't know how to help them, and you just feel completely underprepared for your job.